What's going on, everybody? Back with another video. So this is a do-it-yourself, another DIY video for a leather travel journal similar to the Midori refillable travel notebooks. Now in a previous video on, I think it's labeled DIY refillable leather journal or whatnot, I showed everybody how I made a notebook that had a capacity of 3 books, and I know that I've gotten a lot of questions on how asking me how can I make a travel notebook that has more capacity. So I finally found a good way of doing it, and so this is my DIY tutorial on how to make a high capacity travel notebook. So high capacity means that you can fill with you can actually have 3 or more notebooks in there, meaning 4 or more basically. So if you're going to do a video with less than 4, then you may want to look at the other DIY video because it's the stitching's a little bit simpler. For this tutorial, you can have 4 to infinity amounts of notebooks with this type of stitch on there. And all you gotta do is this: if you have 8 notebooks, you puncture 8 holes. You have 10 notebooks, you puncture 10 holes, whatever. If you want to like 25 notebooks, you know, obviously you're gonna need a bigger piece of leather, but you know, whatever your needs are. I've seen some outrageously thick travel notebooks online. Some people have like 6 notebooks in there, puncture 6 holes. Basically, this utilizes a link stitch, and you can basically continue to link stitch as much as you want, as long as you have enough material. For this tutorial, I decided to make a sketchbook that has 4 notebooks in there. So now with this stitch, you no longer have to do that that crazy trick of putting a rubber band, you know, or trying to, you know, I don't know what they do online, but this actually has 4 bands. So you can see that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this actually has 4 bands in there, and again, if you want to have 6 notebooks, you just put 2 more holes and continue the link stitch down and get 2 more bands in there, so you can have 6 notebooks. So anyways, without wasting too much of your guys' time, let's go ahead and begin this, and I'll show you how I made this traveler's notebook. Okay, so first thing you'll need some materials. And of course you're going to need definitely your cover, which is this piece of leather I have in front of me. I decided to use the smooth side as the outside and the rough side as the inside. Now I've dyed it 2-tone because I think it gives it a nice little contrast here. You'll need an awl for puncturing the holes into your cover. And you also need some elastic. You can get these at an art supply shop or a fabric supply shop actually, or Amazon actually carries these. And a ruler would be helpful. And you'll need your pages that you're about to put in here. Basically, if you're going to be using either your own handmade signatures, or if you're going to be using, like, say, another, like say this is a moleskin, you can probably just use this, and you're just going to measure the holes to see how far apart they are. So for this particular book, travel journal, I decided to just use my own handmade signatures because it's going to be a sketchbook, so I put sketching paper in there. And then the last thing you need is this little tool that you can just make yourself out of a paper clip. And essentially what it is just a hook at the very end here. I don't know if you can see that, which aids in hooking onto the elastic and pulling it through the holes. I made a little hook at the very end here for you to, you know, wrap your fingers around to pull it through. So this will aid you in pulling this the elastic through. All right, and so the very first thing you want to do is you're going to take the intended size, meaning from the height of your book, whatever it is. In my case, it's the signature, and I'm just going to lay it right down right here, and you can see it comes pretty much almost close to the edge. You want to leave a little bit of a gap because when you fold it closed, this actually pretty much moves to the very edge here. So and you want to kind of make it as straight as possible. I know I'm kind of eyeballing it. If you really want to, you can go and measure it yourself, and you know, measure and where you want to put the holes. But for this purpose, this project, I want to make as kind of a impromptu, messy of a notebook as possible. So I wanted to just kind of make it as is, you know. So anyways, you're going to take your awl, and you're going to put a hole at the very corner of each side right here. So one on the bottom and one on the top. Make sure it's a tiny bit longer than the overall length of the book, because you know, you want the elastic to stretch around the entire book to hold the signature in, or the book in. So I've already punctured these holes here, so I'll just show you what I did. Let's remove this out of the way, and you can see I got the 4 holes there and the 4 holes here. So anyways, let's move on here. So the first thing you do is you're going to take your elastic and you're going to measure out 4 lengths that are taller than the overall cover, and then you're going to add 1 or 2, probably just 1 more length, just to be safe, just to give you that extra buffer in case you measured incorrectly. So I'm going to go 1, and then 2, and then 3, 4, and just give myself an extra, which is 5 right there. So we'll cut it off right there. If you want to, you can just burn the ends. I usually just burn the ends to kind of seal them, and then that way it doesn't fray on me. Make sure the other end is, nope, see the other end's fraying a little bit, so let's just burn this. So what you're going to do is, with the cover side out, you're going to go to the rightmost top hole that you've made. And the first thing to do is you're going to take your tool and you're just going to insert it right through the hole, just like that. Alright, you're going to take a bit of elastic, and you'll just, let me open her up. Alright, so there you go. So basically I've inserted it into the upper rightmost hole, and I have it hooked onto my piece of elastic. And it's a simple matter of just pulling it right back through, just like that. But don't pull it all the way through. So this is why you want to have a little hook. I'm basically making a little loop, and I'm going to keep it right there on the loop. So I'm just going to remove it, and you see I have a little loop here, and I have a little tail. You're going to leave that alone for now. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the very bottom rightmost hole down here, and you're just going to repeat the process. I'm going to insert the tool, and this time you want to just pull the elastic until it is it doesn't have to be completely tight yet, because right now we're going to tighten it later and adjust the tension. So right now just give yourself a plenty of slack, because if you pull too hard you're going to yank the loop right out. Right? So again, you're just going to catch the strand onto your tool here, and you'll just work it back out to the other side. Give myself a little more slack here, and let's go and pull this through. There we go. So now, if you can see on camera, I got 1 loop here and 1 loop here. Go into the next hole, which is the one right next to the loop you just made. So it's the second hole over from the bottom, and you're going to insert the tool again, loop back through. All right. So this time, after you pull the loop back through, the main difference within this is that you're actually going to pull the entire length of cord all the way through, more or less. You're going to take the end here, and you're just going to loop it right through. Alright? You loop it right through that loop. Alright? To pull the strand back through this hole, and of course you can just use your tool for that again. And this may be a little difficult, just because you already got, unless you want to, you can wind out the hole a little bit more if you want to, or you can just use the tool here and just kind of force it through my end here. But oh, there it goes. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. Alright, so now that I pull it through, I'm just basically going to pull the rest of the elastic straight through the hole here. There you go. So what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a loop here that basically can tighten, and it has this other loop to hold it in. So you're well on your way. So again, don't tighten this yet. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same thing on the very top hole, just one over from the existing loop. So this is number 1. And then you're going to go to the second one over. A bit of room to work with, or slack, and then I'm just going to pull it right through. There we go. And now you're just going to do the same thing right through the existing loop that you've already created in the very beginning, just like that. Alright, side of the cover now. And let's see, kind of insert that way. You can accurately gauge how much tension you'd like on the elastic itself. So here you go. We got it all stitched right now. Okay. So the first things first is I'm going to now that we've got the two loops, so we got 2 loops up here and 2 loops up here. I'm going to start at the rightmost loop up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten it by pulling. I know it's kind of hard to see, but by pulling this strap right here. I guess I shouldn't have dyed this black. It's really hard to see. So you remember the little tail you left here from the very beginning. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm just going to tighten this up here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull on that, and on the front I'm going to pull on that, and you can see that it's going to tighten. See, actually I'll loosen up for you. So originally you had a loop here like that, and then I'm going to pull on the back here, and basically see that it just tightens the top rightmost loop. Okay, you don't have to tighten it all the way, just tighten it to a certain point that you feel comfortable, and I think I'm good there. So I got it pretty snug up there, right? I do still want a little bit of movement. It is elastic after all, so it's not that big of a deal. Take this piece right here, the little tail that you've created, and just tie it off, just like in a, just in a square knot or whatever. This is elastic, so as soon as you tie it, it's just gonna, tighten up on itself and grip up on itself. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna tie a knot in here. There we go. There you go. And basically the knot here prevents it from going back out the other way. All right. So you can just leave that hanging there. Now you're gonna follow this all the way down to the very bottom. All right. And now, this time, you're not going to pull on this one. There's a small little loop here that I know you're not going to be able to see, but if I can get that on camera here. There's a small little loop here, and you're just going to pull it, and as you pull it, you'll watch the other side tighten up. See that? See that loop on the left, or on the top there, tighten up? There you go, just like that. And then on the front cover, you'll just go and pull this through, and you're just going to tighten up the loop that you just made. There you go. See it on the back cover, it's just getting tighter. There we go. And then basically you're just going to pick up the slack, and then now you can tighten. Now you can grab the second piece of elastic here, the second signature part, and you just pull it right through like that. Okay? So now you got the first loop. Let's go and get everything all tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to get this all tight. And ultimately what you're looking for is you want to tighten these elastic bands to whatever tension you'd like. So I think I'm going to have it just like that. And then, so after you pull it to the outside, you're just going to pull the rest of the elastic through again. And just like the last time, you'll take this elastic and you'll go from the under, you're just going to loop it through the first link here. I'm going to pull it straight through. And there we go. That's all I need to do. Just going to pull it straight through, and then there we are. Now coming back from the inside to the outside again on the same hole. Come on. I'm just going to grab my elastic again, like that, and we'll just pull it straight through to the other side. There we are. And again, you're just going to pull all the remaining piece of elastic all the way through. And now, you can just tighten it to however you like. Don't make it too tight though, because the spine of your book is going to start getting scrunched up. And there you go. You see how the two links are together, and you make a nice little link stitch there. All the elastic all the way through. Now, and then you're just going to tighten it like that, and you're going to have a nice and beautiful link stitch just like that. And the last thing you're going to do is you're just simply going to tie it off in a square knot up here, this remaining piece here, just like what you did with the other piece. Once you have tied it off, all you do is just snip off the remainder. And you keep a little tail. I just usually just burn it just to keep it keep it nice and cauterized or whatever, closed off, and then that's it. This is your journal. Now you have to begin filling it. So just to show you what I did, I'll just go ahead and put my books in. There we are. Here's one book. And actually, you know what? I think I made this. I think my books are so similar that I can even put like a moleskin cahier in here. Oh, look at that. The moleskin actually fits in here, so I can actually put a moleskin cahier book in here if I wanted to. So, but I'm not going to. This is like for my sketchbook only, and I already made the signatures for it. So I'm just going to take another one, and let's just fill this up and see. Put this piece up, wrap it underneath here, like this. See, close her up. There you go. Now the last thing I gotta do is finish her all up and put a wrap tie around there, but that's basically it. So here's my method for stringing more than three books together. Okay, so in this next section I'm going to show you how to make, or how I made the decorative X stitching onto the spine of the book. So what I have here is a 1 inch by 1 inch square, or 1 inch squared piece of paper cut out, and I'm just going to use that as my guide. You can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. I think for this book 1 inch is fine because it kind of complements the little almost 1 inch long stitching here. So to make the X stitch, I'm going to start on the topmost left hole here. I'm going to go from the inside of the cover to the outside. There we are. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go to the whole diagonal to this one, which is this right here. So this is still the first set of holes here. Now you're going to take it and you're going to move down to the second set here to the lower hole here, so directly down, and go from inside out. Go. And you take this and you'll go diagonal to this hole right here, something like this. Now you're going to go over to this hole right here from the inside out. Seeing a pattern, I'm going to go to this hole right here. So that creates a nice X pattern here. This is my traveler's notebook with the capacity of 4 signatures and the link stitch and the decorative X stitches in there. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY tutorial. If you got any questions, please leave it below in the comments. Anything else, just send me a personal message or whatnot. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, so take care, everybody.